Good Shabbos. I've been thinking a lot about the leadership void that has been left behind following the recent passing of some of our greatest Torah leaders. Over the past year, we have lost Rabbi Dr. Norman Lamb, Rabbi Adin Steinsaltz, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, and Rabbi David Feinstein. And while all leaders eventually pass away, I find such a stark contrast between the way they lived their lives, what they represented, and the world they leave behind. All of these leaders were recognized universally as individuals who never spoke badly about another individual or community. They held themselves to a very high standard, that of Aharon, of espousing peace and showing nothing but kindness towards others. And it wasn't just their personalities. The work that they did as poskim and teachers and leaders was always conducted with the utmost sensitivity and warmth. None of them ever had anything vitriolic to say or took any action against those with whom they were in opposition. And then I think of the polarized world they leave behind, a world so different than what these leaders represented. A world where demonizing and rejecting opponents and their views is the lingua franca of the social and political debate of our day. Political leaders especially, who play such an important role in our lives, and now more than ever, our safety, can do so much to contribute to a tone of civility and kindness, and yet fail to do so daily. If these great leaders who we've lost were unable to set a different tone of discourse, is there any hope for the rest of us, for the communities they leave behind? A similar question lurks beneath the surface of this week's Torah reading. Avraham is a charismatic and outgoing personality who, through his iconoclastic emunah, became the father of Hashem's chosen people. How would the son to this father carry on such a formidable legacy? Yitzchak doesn't seem to display the same charisma and energy of his father. Indeed, many of his actions in this parsha simply retrace his father's footsteps, digging some of the same wells. Rabbi Lamb made an astute observation about how the Torah seems to hold its breath following the passing of Avraham. First, the Torah records his death and burial. Vayigva vayamos Avraham b'seiva tova. Avraham dies in ripe old age, zakein v'saveya. Vayikberu oso Yitzchak v'Yishmael banav el maras hamachpelah. And he is buried by Yitzchak and Yishmael in maras hamachpelah. Then, the Torah provides some details we already know. El stei Ephron ben Sochar hachiti, asher al pnei mamrei, hasadeh asher kana Avraham me'ez b'nei ches, shama kubar Avram v'Sara ishto. The field of Ephron hachiti that was purchased by Avraham. The listing of these incidental details of where and how he came to his place of eternal rest seems quite unnecessary. It gives the sense that the Torah is extending this moment, holding its breath to see what would the world be like following the death of such a trailblazer as Avraham. How indeed would his legacy be continued? The answer is provided in the very next pasuk. V'hi acharei mos Avraham v'yivarach Elokim es Yitzchak beno. Following Avram's death, Hashem blessed Yitzchak. As if to say, even if you are not your father, you are worthy of blessing. And you have the responsibility to safeguard that blessing and share it with others. You don't need to be Avraham to transmit his heritage. The rather prosaic life of Yitzchak that we find recorded in this week's Torah reading is a demonstration that simply following the example of leaders who are no longer with us is enough to make an impact on the world, to carry on their legacy. We should spend more time considering the legacies of these great Torah leaders who have recently left us. Their lives should be studied, because if more of us conducted ourselves the way they did, our communities would be more cohesive, and the shalom we would experience would bring the Shekhinah to dwell in our midst. Good Shabbos.